Hey guys, welcome to the soldering tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how I think is the best way to solder. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so one thing that you do not have to have, but probably one, is called a helping hand. And this one, the clampers are getting broken and these joints keep on coming out. So that's why I bought a new one, and let's unpack it right now. Okay, so this helping hand is very nice. It has 4 arms and it moves very well. It's very flexible. And then it has the clampers, and it has it so that it cannot short any wires. You just screw these arms onto it, clamps onto the desk, very nice. It comes with a tool and a extra clamper in case you lose one. So that's very awesome. And now that we have our nice helping hand, let's move on. Okay guys, so now let's move on to the actual soldering itself. Now this soldering iron is very hot, so you have to be very careful with this. Okay, so say you want to connect a connector to a switch, and you can't just really do that easily. But when you use soldering, you can. So this is called flux. It makes your life probably a million times easier. And then this right here is just, you stick your soldering iron there and like it cleans it. You have to like kind of rub it around a bit. And then this is the solder. This is the metal that the soldering iron melts and actually connects the wires together. So now let's grab our button. This is pretty small, so I'm gonna do it up close. Let's take our button, grab it just like that. This helping hand is a lot nicer than the previous one. Okay. And then you dip the flux into your wire and into what you are soldering. So here I'm actually just going to take the solder, put some flux on it, and then put it onto the place I want to solder it. The flux basically attracts all of the solder to go where you want it to go, so that's very convenient. Now we take our soldering iron, we dip it in the flux a bit. So we just dip it, it's gonna smoke a bit, so. Okay, and then you put some solder, or actually no, first you actually have to align the wires together to where you want them. Okay, so if your switch or whatever you're soldering to is not lining up, you can simply just put the solder onto the, oh, that's too much. You gotta put the solder onto the soldering iron, and then you can actually just hold the wire up to it, and then boom. And you should have a perfect connection, just like that. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit. Or actually, I can't zoom on this. So if I take this, put it up closer to the camera, you should see that there's a perfect connection with the wires. It's hard to see, but it's a perfect connection. It's like never coming off. I'm going to pull on it like really hard. Yeah, that's not coming off like in a long time. So that's basically how you solder there. Now I'm going to solder 2 wires together. I'm going to go get the wires. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead and set up the wires that I'm about to solder together. So you just put some solder on there, and you go boop. And maybe we need a little bit more. So we go boop. And that is perfect. It's hard to see on the GoPro. And then to clean it, you simply just take your flux, dip it in there a bit, and then you clean it in here. Very simple. Put it back. Okay, now I am going to show you how to solder on a PCB. Okay, so we are going to be soldering on this PCB PCB just stands for printed circuit board. It's literally a bunch of wires just like printed into a thing. And this is a buzzer. This is actually going to be for a different project. I'm just going to solder onto it. Okay, so to do that, we actually do not need the red wire. So we are going to take it out of this connector. But lots of people actually damage their connectors when they try and take it out. And what you need is a flathead screwdriver, a small one. You want to gently, actually, I'm going to use the helping hand for this because this helps a lot. Just stick the wires in the helping hand and then bring it down. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to stick the flathead screwdriver underneath one of the tabs, and you're going to want to gently lift and then pull. Okay, maybe the helping hand is not the best for this case. So I'm going to gently, my thumb's in the way, gently lift and pull. It's very difficult to do by yourself, so I recommend having a person to help you. You may need a few attempts to do it. It's not very easy. And I'm going to try and time-lapse this. Oh, I already got it. Never mind. So, and then once you get it, you start to pull, and boom, you get the wire out. And this is not damaged. At least I do not think it is, but it doesn't really look like it. Okay, so that took a bit to do, but it is done. Now we shall solder. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the letters or what they say, but this is basically a signal pin, and this is the VCC or 5 volts, and these two need to get connected, so I'm just going to use a simple wire to connect them. And the reason why they are getting connected is because this is actually a buzzer, and that's going to be something in the next video or a upcoming video. So I'm actually going to solder the signal wire on there first. So let's get a bit of flux on the PCB. PCB is a printed circuit board. I think I already said that, but you guys, only beginners should be watching this, so. Okay. Now, it's time to solder. Let's get a bit of that on here. And then put solder on your soldering iron. Okay, now let's grab the wire. Okay, now that we have everything, let's solder it on. We could do better than that. There we go. Perfect. It's difficult to see for you guys, but that's a good connection if I ever saw one. Okay, let's get some more flux on the VCC, ground, my bad. Let's put some more, actually we're good on solder on the soldering iron. Let's solder the ground. Okay, now we have our ground and signal. Now I am going to solder this tiny wire from VCC to signal pin. I'm going to set that up real fast because that's going to be a little difficult to set up. See you guys when it's all ready to be soldered. Okay, so you may be wondering why I have this on the spare clamp. Well, because this wire is so small and thin, The second the soldering iron touches the wire is going to get very hot, and I do not want my finger to get very hot. Okay, so let's just solder it on. If I can get some solder on there. Oh wait, I forgot to put soldering on the soldering iron. My bad. Okay, let's put a bit of solder on there. Now let's put some solder on there. And what do you know, a gorgeous solder. Now oh, it's a little long. Whoops, probably should cut that a bit. Shorten it. I did not realize that did not need to be so long. So let's grab this. Go snip. Like that. Okay. And let me set this up. Actually, I'm just going to do this off camera because you guys already saw how to do it. Okay, I'll see you guys in a sec. Okay, so I said I wasn't going to film the last connection, but I actually wanted to show you this little cool trick. So you take something like a screwdriver, you get your soldering iron ready first, of course. And so you take your screwdriver or flat thing, and then you actually stick it on there to hold it in place. And then you're ready to solder, so that in case to hold it in place, because it can move, and that's like pretty annoying when that happens. Okay, so just wanted to show you that. And yeah. Okay, and I wanted to show you that when you turn off your soldering iron, so I'm going to flip it off. Okay, so you always want to put flux on it and then clean it. And then, this is very important, you put solder on it, weathers, and it's not good, like it looks really bad. So this keeps it nice and clean, just a nice layer of solder to keep it safe, like it's your blanket when you're sleeping, basically. So right now it's sleeping, and it has its iron blanket on. So I just wanted to show you that, to keep your tip nice and clean, because that's also very important. And also just be careful with this, because it's very, very hot. It can burn through a lot of stuff. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed. I just wanted to let you know that the whole time I was filming, I had a glass of water nearby in case of a fire or something, but that's never going to happen, right? Okay, maybe one time, but other than that, probably not going to happen. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and let me know if you want more tutorials, and I'll see you guys next time.